NBA 2K's player ratings are terrible. I'm not talking about how each individual players are rated. I'm saying the system as a whole is a failure. In the game, overalls are used to reflect the abilities of players, at least from the eyes of 2K. A rating system should be able to tell users what ability level each NBA player has, as well as who is the better between the two selected players and by how much. 2K's system does a terrible job reflecting that. Presumably, 2K's overall fall on a scale of 0 to 99. Practically, the game does not let you drop below 40. First issue, all these are just arbitrary numbers with no defined meanings as far as I know. While there is a clear definition in ratings like basketball management game, basketball GM, users can understand the level of players at first glance, better achieving the goal of rating systems. While it helps, this is not detrimental, and many video games also would not give clear definition to ratings, so we'll give 2K a pass here. Let's dig deeper into the sea of data. Thanks to 2krating.com, I was able to code a program collecting ratings of all current NBA players. Here is how the ratings are distributed. This graph shows the number of players from 0 rated to 99 rated. You can see from the left, there isn't a single player rated 0 through 60. This is not ideal, as if you have a scale, you should use it to the fullest. What's the point of the scale if most of its space are not used? However, I will not go too hard on 2K for this one as well, as is a common practice in the industry and even human habits. This is because people tend to be nice with each other. For many reasons, developers will adjust the system to not make players appear too bad. Let's zoom into the area with data entries. In theory, the distribution of abilities in the league should resemble a right skill distribution looking something like this. 2K's distribution kind of is similar to that, but with a sharp decrease around 80s and 90s. Because of the difference in shape for the two distributions, it's likely that 2K failed to capture how talents are distributed in the real world. And due to the weirdness around round numbers, I'm led to believe that 2K rating involves some sort of manual input instead of pure calculations. This box plot visualizes how the ratings are distributed in an alternative way. On the top right corner, I've calculated the mean, median and standard deviation of the ratings. Mean and median are the so-called average, and standard deviation shows how far a typical data point is from the mean on a 0 to 99 scale. Having a standard deviation of 6.29 shows that the data are closely clustered around the mean. This leads to my first big point. Let's get back to what the rating system is for. The first goal is to show which players are better than which. 2K's system does a poor job on this front because of how clustered the ratings are. For example, there are 41 players in this game with 70 overall, which takes up around 8% of the total. It is unlikely that 8% of all NBA players have the absolute same level of abilities. Or for the 80 overall, there are 30 players with this rating, which is around 5.85% of the entire population. Are you telling me that Keegan Murray, Tobias Harris and Danny Avdija are all the same ability-wise? In short, how can we know which player is better than which when all of them have the same overall? This is the first detrimental issue for 2K's rating system. Another goal for the system is to show how much player A is better than player B. The rating system fails to provide a consistent measurement for this task. What is the meaning of a 1 overall difference? Well, as there is no clear definition of what the rating means, we don't know. As evaluation of players are subjective, it's difficult for me to give concrete example. However, you can get a group of players with the same overall difference and determine whether the ratings are consistent. For example, does a 10-point difference mean the same between a 97 and 87, as well as between a 78 and a 68? Like, is the difference between Luka Doncic and Jamal Murray the same as the difference between Jared Vanderbilt and Bronny James? If you don't think so, 2K failed to use the player rating to represent how much one player is better than the other. Another detrimental issue. To conclude, I believe NBA 2K's rating system fails, and it could not differentiate players and is inconsistent in terms of overall difference. If I were to rework the system, I would make the distribution more spread out so that players won't congest to all have the same overall rating. I would also take the manual input out of the system and calculate the overall purely based on numbers and formulas. This is to make sure the scale is consistent and better capture the distribution of NBA talents. Alternatively, we could throw away the overall system and use player grades instead to show around what level of ability each player has. I understand these are difficult to implement based on different reasons. I don't expect 2K to modify the current system anytime soon, as they have many more game-breaking bugs that have to be tackled.